that was we would ask, both we and our competition, after we got the license, were asked by the DTI if we would put up a system, a small system, before we were allowed commercially to start, which was going to be on the 1st of January 1985, to satisfy the communications requirements, or augment the communications requirement of a gang of 4, or a gang of 5, I can't remember now, who were meeting in London in June 1984. And either courageously or stupidly, I said that we would do this. The competition said they wouldn't. But it taught us a lot. We put up a system. There were only about 4 or 5 cells, and but it was a working cellular system. Motorola, who were our supplier, pulled out all the stops to make this work, and it covered London, central London, and the route down to Gatwick, where President Reagan and the others were arriving. And it taught me 3 things. First of all, that BT, whilst being one of the biggest major project people in the country, had no idea how to do it in a commercial environment. We had to find hundreds and hundreds of cells, optimize them, build them, and turn them on. And just doing these 4 or 5 cells showed me that we didn't have the expertise. So as a result of that, we brought W.S. Atkins in to advise us, who were experts in nuclear power station building, motorways, and so on and so forth. So they helped us to have an effective system working. The second one was that we actually had, for the first time, handsets working that were handheld. If you remember I think they were called Microtac.
Yes.
They were unkindly called the brick, but the large Motorola one, which was more elegant than anything else. And we equipped a coach as well, because we were allowed to use this for a few weeks to show it to customers. And everyone that I went out and demonstrated this to wanted one. And that confirmed in my mind that all the doom and gloom merchants and the fact that, Big Brother, remember this is 1984, were wrong. And that I then went back to the owner, the shareholders, and said we wanted more money to build a bigger system. And after lots of sucking of teeth and various bits of opposition, because we were known in BT as a Trojan horse, so that didn't help us.
Sorry, a Trojan horse in what sense?
In other words, we'd be there to take business away from the core business, which is, I suppose, in a way understandable. But we got the extra money. We learnt a lot of lessons from that. And the other thing was that I nearly got fired for this, but we got our agency to do an advert for the first time, because I'd just chosen and got approved the name Cellnet, which showed Ronald Reagan. There was a full page in the FT, one ad, a full page with Reagan on the telephone in the back of a car saying, when you're out of the office, it needn't be the end of the world. And from that one ad, I think we got between 15 and 20,000 responses.
Really?
This was in June 1984. And that confirmed me, which is saying, if you're interested, send in the little coupon, as one did in those days. And we got between 15 and 20,000 of those. I thought, right, we have to get our head down and do this. And so it was an interesting and pretty pressured time. But I had a marvellous team. We worked together, and we realised that this was something that was going to be important. And I think also we realised it was something that wasn't just going to be car-borne, because all the mobile phones up to then were ones that you installed in cars. And therefore we built a system in London, which was the first in the world, that was capable of supporting these hand portables. Well, they were quite large hand portables in those days.
Well, it was a power problem, wasn't it?